So we are here today to introduce to you the best show that's going to be on YouTube from past, present, and future. We are here on the congregation couch. I am the pimp, aka the presidential intellectual masculinity perceived. This is my comrade and partner in crime and doing things that rhyme, Pastor Marquise Collins.
Appreciate that introduction, man. God created mankind, so everything was good already. And then, while everything was good, he decided to create mankind in his own image.
His own image. We're going to start it off from the very beginning on what I believe to be what started all the simple things going on, the anti-pimp way, the anti-dip on your chip way, you know what I'm saying? The things that get you where you want to go, get you in your move, in your groove. Adam failed us all, baby, and I'm here to let y'all know that the pimp way is on the way. You understand me? This 1100 thing is I'm saying right here with this pimping pass. You know what I'm saying? This dip on my chip go long, understand me?
It go long.
It go long and strong, understand me, Pastor? Go long and strong, huh, baby?
We still,
you understand me,
this
Pastor?
guy right here, he still
understand me,
we got
Pastor?
to pray. We got to pray just to make it today.
We got to pray just to make it today.
I don't fool with them cantina thins. I like them big chips, you understand me? I like a lot of dip, Pastor.
Maggi onion soup and Nestle reduced cream for the freshest, creamiest dip.
A whole lot of dip on my chip.
We're going to try to get back to this verse. He show out every now and then. We got to wait on him sometime, but we're going to get back to the word.
So, I let them scoop, Pastor.
Verse 2. Verse 2. That's what happened when the word try to go full. Somebody always trying to talk.
Hey, big grab, Pastor. Hey, you know the big grab?
We never know how the show gonna go. So I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna give him a moment.
Big grab, Pastor. Hey, Pastor, hold it.
Lord help. Verse 2.
We're all of it, Pastor. All of it.
Verse 2.
Understand me?
There's a scripture that says, "What profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul?"
This is a lesson for y'all simps out here as far as the perspective of keeping your whole organization in order, understand me? When you start simping, aka within the context of a man and a woman, Pastor, when you start trying to chase your woman and validate her and please her, what you don't understand, simp, is you actually putting that woman above the Lord. You don't know that in the time, but that's what you're doing. You know what's going to happen? You guaranteed to lose the woman. You're going to lose the woman because you put the woman above the Lord. So either
Without divine order.
Understand me?
Yeah.
So the Lord going to take her from you. You think you're doing the right thing by worshiping her and laying out the red carpet for no reason whatsoever. Whatsoever, she ain't earned none of that. You just doing because you feel like it's the right thing to do, and the Lord go take you from her. I ain't seen one simp out here right now, Pastor, who is still winning. Every simp right now in 2022, Pastor, taking L's, big L's, Pastor. They losing everything they got, including the woman. Understand me?
If at any moment your voice raises to a higher octave than a bass, you are no longer pimping, you simping.
Is it just about the voice, or is it what? Sometimes
I use the voice as an analogy. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes you gotta be loud and thunderous. Understand me?
I mean, a roar and a scream is two different things. You understand me?
Hey, that's a good analogy, pimp.
You hear me?
That's a good analogy, church. A roar and a scream is two different things. Understand me? That roar go come from deep in the belly. Understand me?
Yeah, I love to hear a man roar. What a man roar? Whatever made me sit down somewhere. You hear me?
Like a lion.
You know, and if you know me, you understand me. It's a little hard to make me sit down somewhere. But if I hear Mufasa.
Mufasa.
Yeah, boy. Mufasa. I'm used to sit my ass down somewhere.
Just tingles me.
Yeah. Something about that does something to me. Yes, Lord.
Can y'all hear me? Understand me? Hope y'all heard me. Understand me? If y'all can hear me loud in the thunder, understand me? Put a one in the chat. Understand me? If you can hear me. If you can hear me loud in the thunder, understand me? We got about to get into this game. Understand me? About to get into this game. Do a little sound check. You know what I'm saying? One thing y'all misunderstand. Understand me?
At this moment that he knew he fucked up.
One thing y'all need to know. Oh, we got a little ad libs. Let me turn it up a little bit soft. Let me hit it again. Hold on. We in here live in effect, man. Hold up.
Bruh.
Oh, we got a little special effects. Understand me? Let me hit another button on y'all boys. Understand me? Bro, oh. Oh, we about to come in. It's prime time, baby. Hold on, let's play this music, baby. We about to get into this drip, understand me? We about to get all the way up in this drip, understand me? It's prime time, baby. Oh, game time, baby. All right, man. Let's go ahead and get to the show, man. All right, first topic for tonight, baby. We here. Survival Descent, man. Tonight's topic is all about men and this whole depression thing, understand me? Appreciate everybody came out. Let me go ahead and switch my sound around where I'm actually listening to the live thing. I'm a little bit delayed over here on my end. Oh. So I can talk to y'all real. All right, man. That should be the move right there, understand me? That should be the move right there, understand me? Yeah. All right. So hear myself from one ear. In the other ear. All right, man. So we're going to get into these topics tonight. I appreciate everybody coming out, understand me? Let me go ahead and get my sounds and stuff in order. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm at it. You know what I'm saying? Got a little ad lib, understand me? Oh, my bad. I wasn't looking at the chat, understand me? Got ones in the chat. Understand me? People watching, understand me? Let's go ahead and get into the word. All right. Start off for the first topic tonight, man. What is depression, understand me? From my perspective of accomplishing a little bit of success, understand me? And if anybody want to come on the show, hold on. Let me go ahead and... My bad. I didn't even put the link up there. There's a link right quick. Understand me? All right, somebody else pinned it. Two people post a link. So if you want to dive in on this conversation, man, what you feel like depression is, understand me? Your perspective on it. I apologize for getting started. I got me a new little soundboard over here. I've been playing with it all night, trying to get it licensed and creamy for you, understand me? Trying to get it where, you know what I'm saying? I got the ad libs on. I ain't got any say the words no more. You know what I'm saying? I just hit a button, understand me? Watch this. Understand me? Huh? You know what I'm saying? Hold on. Wait. Dip on your chill. Oh, we going ham tonight, baby. I advise y'all to tune in, baby, because it's gonna be a good show, man. We turn up live, man. We done did some things, man. We everything looking real good. The lights are shining bright. Understand me? You know what I'm saying? I done got off track, but I'm trying to pin this comment right quick. apologize, man. My first time using this board, so we go get into it, y'all. Give me a little bit of time, man. Got to program about 60 or 70 sounds in here right quick, man. Upgrade the production value, you know what I'm saying? That's what it's all about, baby. Make sure it sound good, look good, understand me? Let me get on my own video so I can pin the comment. There we go. All right, we're good now. Let me go ahead and get up out of there. All right, so we can finally start the show, baby. Let me go ahead and go back to my regularly scheduled program. Grandma Tuesday House, hey, what's going on, cousin? I see y'all this weekend, man. I appreciate all the love, everybody in the chat. What is depression? Understand me? So, from my perspective, understand me. If y'all can hear me, make sure y'all hit a 1 in the chat. I should be good. I can't hear myself right now, so it's all one-way street right now because I turned the monitor off. Whatever the case, understand me. What we need to understand about depression, and this is from my perspective, right? Depression is depression real? Like, is it actually a it is a clinical brain disease, right? For as doctors, you can go on Google right now, you can find a diagnosis that says a person is quote unquote depressed, right? It is a clinical diagnosis, understand me? Not taking anything away from the people who feel this way, and not trying to say anybody who is or isn't depressed isn't what they feel to be, understand me? But my perspective on the state of depression is feeling depressed is a state of mind that's there to motivate you to not be depressed anymore. So let me give you an example. So, and if there's nothing, this applies to people who, you know, with no physical ailments, even though there's some people with physical ailments that have been able to achieve great things in life. There's an NFL player in the league right now with no arms, understand me? So, needless to say, it ain't necessarily all about what you got, and we go get into the physicality of it, and all about what you don't got, understand me? It's about what you do have, understand me? So the actual disease of depression is real, yes, but that's nothing more than a state of mind. It's there to motivate you to no longer feel depressed anymore, right? So give a good example. You're in a bad spot, understand me? You are bad on your luck, understand me? Things is going real bad for you. You ain't got none of this. Dip on your chip. So, you know what I'm saying? You ain't trying to come through and you ain't trying to get none of this. Understand me? So you out here taking, you know what I'm saying? You out here getting, you ain't getting none of that, understand me? So you ain't trying to hear none of this. You know what I'm saying? You out here coming through like it's Call of Duty and you get a bunch of these.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
Life is just hard for you. So, but the key word, hey man, Call of Duty, man, you just, cause sometimes you gotta hit, you know what I'm saying, hit the restart key, man, and you gotta start over, man. It ain't game over yet, you know, you just hit continue, understand me? And you need to learn from that failed mission. Especially for men. Like this show tonight was for men in general. We're gonna speak to the ladies one of these days, and I'd rather have a lady speak to the ladies. You know, even though my sister said that I taught her how to be more feminine, I still feel like women need to address themselves. It ain't really my place to correct women. I feel like if I do enough and make enough effort to tangibly correct men, the women will naturally kind of just, you know, either get in line with that or they be left behind, understand me? Hold on, let me stop saying understand me. Let me hit y'all with this. Understand me. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, Cherie, I seen you in chat. You said I was saying it too much. I ain't gotta say it no more. I gotta say it. You know what I'm saying? So, I'll hit the wrong button. That was the CSI. But hold on. I meant to hit this one. I'm having too much fun with this thing over here. I'm having too much fun with this thing over here. Hold on. I meant to hit that
Understand me.
one. I'm having too much fun with y'all, man. So, it's gonna be a little lighthearted. It's a little tough, you know what I'm saying? You gotta take the good with the bad, man. Life, if we are still here, if you are able to watch this podcast right now, you're in a good spot. You have access right now to some of the best information on planet Earth. If this stuff is hitting your ears right now, you're at the cusp. You have the opportunity to go from where you are to where you want to be, understand me? And like I said, if you want to dive on the chat, man, and let your voices be heard, man, I'm gonna get into my personal self if I was, feeling the feelings of depression and whatnot. And we go deep dive on all that. But I feel like everybody needs to be heard out here, man. Sometimes, we need to learn how to communicate, and even though somebody might not be giving some game that you feel like is really relevant, what I'm saying? They ain't giving you none of this real good, you know what I'm saying? They ain't give you none of that stuff that you really want to hear. They give you some stuff for you. Every time you spawn, you on some.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? It's kind of hard, and I understand that. We all humans. We all have our own kind of personal battles in life. You know what I'm saying? We all got our own personal battles, and we all got our own personal perspectives on life. But at the end of the day, it's all about winning, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get y'all where y'all hearing this music right here, man. Where y'all hearing this right here, man. When y'all come down through there, y'all come through, man. Y'all come down, come to touchdown, man. Y'all come through like prime time. Pay good, life good, understand me? Fox NFL Sunday, baby. So that's all we're trying to do, man. It's just life advice, man. You can apply it and learn from it and implement it and get some of these same results I got. Man, hey, my story is real long. I was homeless and sleeping in my car not too long ago, man. So that was a very depressing state for me. The feeling of depression was useful to help me fix my scenario. So once again, what is depression? It is a feeling of being distraught or, worthless or whatever the worst emotions you could think of in your head. And depression encompasses all of those. I'm not saying people should or shouldn't feel that way. What I am saying is that it is a state of mind, and it behooves you to do everything you can in your power to overcome it. We'll get into some of the things you can do to overcome it. That's kind of the whole synopsis of the show, understand me? The title is, understand me, men being in such a depressed state, and can we actually do anything to fix it? And my response to that is that, if you ain't trying to get it on, you ain't trying to getting your dip, my response to you, to anybody who I heard, they're not really on their grind, you be hearing a bunch of these right here, man. And I ain't trying to let you hear that. They ain't the noise you need to be hearing, man. That's the worst noise ever, man. You hear that right there, boy. You don't want to hear that one, dog. Let's play that one more time. You don't want to hear that one. You hear that, you're the best up, dog. It usually might be followed by one of these, man. You might hear one of that. You hear that one. And you hear that one. Whee! You're having a bad day, baby. You're having a bad day. But we gonna get on to the next lesson. We went on depression. We ain't trying to be there, man. We need to get where we want to go, baby. We ain't trying to stay there. We trying to get on NFL Sunday, baby. All right, so why are men depressed? Understand? Why are men depressed? Let's see. Let me see. Why are men depressed? I don't even know what to think about them. Can y'all chime in for me in the chat, man? Why do y'all think men are depressed? Understand me? Leave in the comments, man. I'm a loss for words. I got a couple answers, but I'm pondering, man. What's y'all answer? Why y'all think men are depressed out here, man? Wait for y'all give me a little game, man. See what y'all got to say about it, man. Why do y'all feel men out here depressed? What's y'all answers, man? Peter said, "Talk to me." That's right. They're not fulfilling their role, man. You want to come on the show, man? Get more context, baby. What is their role, man? Tweet said, "Men out here depressed because they're not fulfilling their role, man." Everybody wanted to have live happily ever after, man. I had some good stories too, man. Story time, man. Story time. We gonna go way back. Once upon a time, man, I was married, man. I was in the army and stuff. Understand me? I was out here trying to live the American dream. Out in Iraq, understand me? You know what I'm saying? I'm out here. You know what I'm saying? Feeling overwhelmed that they can't provide. All right, we go get into that. Tusa said because they feeling overwhelmed because they can't provide. That's what causes depression. All right, these are all good answers. Let me go ahead and finish my story, man, so y'all can relate to it. There was once upon a time I was young stud out here. You know what I'm saying? Thought I was doing the right thing. You know what I'm saying? People clapping for me. You know what I'm saying? I thought everything was going good, man, but it really was a sad situation. I was hearing a bunch of these noises right here, man. It wasn't really what I thought it was going to be, man. So the root thing that I didn't have at the time was taking a bunch of L's out here, man. So basically, I didn't understand how to be masculine at all at the time. I didn't understand the importance of my masculinity, and I understand how important that was to maintain. And if you want to do anything, accomplish anything in life, and this goes for men and women, you have to tap into masculinity. That is the energy of building. That is the energy of production. That is the energy of focus and discipline. These are all the things that are required for you. And Jason said we didn't have our daddies. That is true. But I'm here to tell you, Jason, that our fathers ain't the big key. It wasn't necessarily the lack of a father per se, even though in the scenario, the best case scenario is for your father to be the masculine person. It's the lack of masculinity. Now, I'm of the opinion that if a woman is fully invested in and in line with her femininity, she can still teach a man or a young boy at least how to process and understand what masculinity is, because it's the total opposite of what femininity is. Understand me? This is possible because if she knows one end of the spectrum, you can always factor for the other. You remember that math? And this is crazy how this came to me, man. I just had an epiphany. Man. I just came up on something, man. That just came to my head. And it was like in the brain. Just factored into logic, right? So, there's certain math equations, right? Where you can solve for the unknown value. You know what I'm saying? You can solve for the unknown value if you have the other end of the spectrum. So if you have two pieces of a math equation, if you have 2 plus 2 equals 5, right? Or 2 plus 2 equals 4, or 2 plus 3 equals 5, right? Or 2 times 5 equals 10, right? If you have the 2 and the thing that's on the other side of the equal sign, you can still get the sum of the parts because those numbers balance each other out, right? So if a woman is ultra feminine, even in the absence of masculinity, if she remains in her feminine state, she will be able to reproduce and or factor in for the lack of the masculinity in her own self and attract that masculinity. And one thing that would have happened, even though you didn't have your personal father in the ground in the house, if she learned the error of her ways through that process, she would have had a masculine man at some point in time in your life that could have maybe shined some light on these things. And or at bare minimum, she could potentially teach you what masculinity looks like because she understands wholeheartedly what femininity is. That's the beauty of the energy balancing itself out. And it's really as simple as math. It's 2 times 5 equals 10. If you have the 2, let's just say the 2 represents the femininity. The 5 represents the masculinity. You can switch those numbers around. They're interchangeable. But you always better get the sum of the whole if you have one or the other. You can factor in and fill in the gaps at all times. Now, you can't, 5 times 5 isn't 10. 5 times 5 is 25. You're not getting the same answer no more. It's kind of crazy how that just came to me. And I never even thought about it like that. That whole analogy of this is what happens whenever you have a perfect balance of your own self, regardless of somebody else. If you have your proper energy, you will find a way to factor in for the missing value. Meaning, if you are a masculine man, femininity will naturally be attracted and drawn to you. And if you're a feminine woman, masculinity, I misspoke. I meant to say, if you're a masculine man, femininity would naturally be drawn to you. I think that's what I said. If I misspoke. And if you're a feminine woman, masculinity would be naturally drawn and attracted to you. That's just what would happen. Understand me? Give me on this game, man. Y'all need to take some notes, man, on this stuff, man. If I hit that right there, man. If I hit that right there, that means you should have took notes, man. You should have took notes on that. You should have a pen and paper out. You should have wrote that down. If you are in your right value, if you're in your right essence, you're in your right energy, you will be able to factor in for the missing value, whatever that may be. If you ain't doing that, you know what I'm saying? If you ain't doing what you need to do as a man or woman for staying in line with your masculinity or femininity, this is all I got to say to you.
Hell no.
That's all I got to say.
To the no, no, no. Hell to the no. Hell to the no. To the no, no, no. Hell no, no.
All right. So we already went over what is depression. Then we said why are men so depressed? Got another comment? Moving on. We kind of chimed in that. So they are depressed because, and this goes for men and women. Men and women, they are both depressed because neither one of them are staying aligned in their energy that will equate to the sum of both parts. Their total equation of life was supposed to be 5 times 2 equals 10. They trying to be 2 5s instead of a 5 and a 2. That's the problem. You're supposed to be a 5, but you out here being a 2. You're supposed to be a 2, you're out here trying to be a 5. And get nothing in exchange for all that out of boundary. Out here taking L's, up here getting woe out. You know what I'm saying? Don't be doing that. All right. How can men overcome it? How can men overcome depression, man? How do you overcome it? So, and we kind of chiled into this and the reason why men are depressed. And like I said, once again, chime into the comments or join the conversation. How can men overcome it? You overcome it by maintaining and aligning yourself with your energy. Now, if you don't understand masculinity at all whatsoever, or you don't understand femininity whatsoever, then you're watching this show. I myself, for the men, I can help you and assist you in becoming more masculine and maintaining that. Women, I have some ladies I can refer you to, and they can assist you from going from where you are to where you want to be. So you could actually be winning instead of taking L's. You know what I'm saying? We don't want y'all out here, you know what I'm saying, taking L's. We want y'all out here getting W's. Understand me? We want y'all out here coming through, you know what I'm saying? Feeling good. Y'all coming through like King Leonidas, understand me?
This is
Coming through talking like that cash
Sparta!
money. Y'all just coming through Diamond Thunders. This goes for the ladies and the gentlemen, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Kicking people off bridges, understand me? That's just how it's gonna go, baby. So the whole synopsis of the show is having people win, man. I want people to get themselves in position to where they're getting absolutely everything you want out of life. And you can't do that without understanding your proper energy. For a man, you need to be masculine 99% of the time. If you don't understand what that means, reach out to me. Ladies, if you don't understand what femininity is, I have some women I can refer you to. They've gone through the process of understanding how to maintain, fortify, and constitute femininity. You understand me? And that's just what it is. That's how you do it. You overcome it by being in your right energy and aligning yourself with people who align with their same energy. No, this is, well, yeah, you're right. That's true. But I would like for you to still come on from a woman's perspective so you can speak to that, to the fact that even though you're not a man, it'll still be valuable to hear it. Sometimes men don't want to, they like to hear from women. So not to say that information, like how my sister said that just because I'm not a woman didn't mean I couldn't give her valuable context to help her get where she want to go. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to come on, by all means, the link is tagged up top. So this applies for both men and women. Even though I'm talking to men primarily today, everything is about the balance between men and women. It's never about just the man. It's never just about the woman. It's not even about the genders at all. It's about the energy. The proper energies will always do this. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to have y'all out here hearing this kind of music all the time, man. Let me find a song, man. I got a nice song for y'all, man. When you hear this song, man, you know what I'm saying? You know, there's good things going on, man. Give me a moment, man. I'm not bad. Man, why can I not find this song? There it is. This is a song you want to hear, man. You hear this? Come on, man. This is kids, man. So this goes for men and women, man. Overcome your depression by being in the right energy and align yourself with individuals who are in that right energy. You won't have no problem, man. Okay. So for me, story time yet again. Story time. Yeah. Yep. Being depressed and thing. That is a good question. Yes. Hey, a pimp was out here suicidal, y'all. I was ready to end it all, man. I was out here working 3 jobs and wouldn't get no sleep. This was back in 2012-ish. Going through the struggle, man, going through the grind, man, trying to get things together, man, trying to get things, you know what I'm saying, in line, understand me? But most of these was self-inflicted wounds, you know what I'm saying? So I had to go ahead and do what I had to do so I get some more of this. Dip on your chip. You know what I'm saying? And once I figured that out, everything else just kind of laid out straight, you know. And through the process of understanding how to get more of dip on your chip. Everything I needed and wanted kind of just fell in my lap. I literally just started a new position like last week with a raise and everything. You know, this is crazy how easy my life has become once I allow myself with the right energy, and that's literally all I had to do. As soon as I did that, then everything else just kind of came together, man. And it was a celebration, man. It was a celebration. So yes, I have felt depression. You like that dip on your chip? Understand me? Hey man, I think I like the ad libs, man. It's copyright, man. Don't steal my stuff, man. Don't steal my stuff, man. You steal my stuff, man. Don't. This is what's gonna happen, man. If you steal dip on my chip, man, I'm gonna come find you.
I will look
You
for
know what I'm
you,
saying? Don't steal dip
I
on your
will
chip,
find
man. It's
you.
copyrighted material, dog.
and I will kill you.
All right, man. So yeah, I have been depressed. So appreciate the love, though, man. But as I said, it was a state of mind. The depression was there to motivate me to do something about my sad situation. That's the purpose of depression. It's a God given gift. When you're depressed, that's God letting you know, sir, ma'am, you need to do something to fix your situation. If like I'm saying, if there's nothing physically ailing you, there's nothing in limiting your body, your brain from functioning. There's absolutely no reason why you shouldn't be able to process that bad feeling and use that to motivate you to be in a better situation. That's literally what the energy is there for, from my perspective. There may be people that speak differently to that, but that's how I feel about it. That you use that sad state of feeling to help you go from out here doing bad, you know what I'm saying, to out here going hard, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So you come out here going through there, you know what I'm saying? You real good, you know what I'm saying? You real good, you know what I'm saying? You can't stop. Waka waka. You know what I'm saying? Next topic. Is depression all mental? Uh, I will say it isn't, because I believe that is you got to be motivated mentally. And what y'all feel? I chime in the chat. Do you feel depression is all mental? I feel like there's physical scenarios that could be happening to you that can adhere to or factor into your state of depression. So the actual feeling is mental, but the actual circumstances that's causing you to feel that way aren't necessarily mental, if that makes sense. So picture this. Yeah, start with your mind. So, but once you move your mind to do something, and then those are cliche statements. We always say, say if you think you can achieve it. You know what I mean? If you actually apply it mentally and build those habits in your brain, the body kind of follows. But sometimes people just don't. They can't get the body and the mind lined up. Whatever. I don't know. Let's see. That's a question. What do you say to people dealing with a man who has depression? Um, if you missed the earlier part about how do you overcome it, so to speak. So we had a question, and I actually touched on how the men overcome it. So basically, you apply those lessons. So a woman needs to understand how to be feminine in her pure essence. That's if she's dealing with a man, right? If she's a heterosexual woman and she's dating a heterosexual man, her femininity would factor into the scenario to where, number one, she may not necessarily be dealing with a man who's constantly depressed. That's number one. She's a really feminine woman. That's number one. She's not going to be able to really able to tolerate. When I say tolerate, she's not going to be able to handle that scenario for long. But she will be patient if the guy's showing some kind of progress or showing some kind of means to kind of get himself lined up, or looking at if he's actually um, working towards the goal. Now, if he's just sitting around the house, not really making any progress, and I don't care how feminine a woman is, her response gonna be something along those lines.
Hell no!
That's what's gonna be. So I don't think that any man should do that. So I advise All men to constantly be working on getting themselves in better positions mentally, spiritually, financially, all of that. If he's dealing with it, if it's a diagnosis, then my stance on it is, get the medical help you need. I'm also of the opinion it is a state of mind that is there to motivate you to be better than what you are. Depression is, to me, from my perspective, is actually a good thing. It means that you got work to do. And even in the men, like say, for example, there's men out here who have accomplished great things, and women, right? But they get depressed because they accomplish great tasks, and then they rest on the laurels and they stop working. You got to continue to work. Our brains are wired to constantly be focused on the next goal. Once you accomplish the goal, whatever that may be, and then you start relaxing, that's when you allow the scenario depression just try to seep into your mental frame. And that's just what I've kind of processed. That's how it works. There's always exceptions to the rule, don't get me wrong. But long story short, overall synopsis is that you don't stop working until you're dead, especially for men. Women have the luxury of kind of, sitting back and chilling and allowing the man to really come through and take care of things. That's the beauty of this double standard. I mean, men and women both benefit from it, but I recommend you get yourself lined up where you want to go. So you want to get yourself to the Super Bowl, understand me? I'm just trying to see everybody win, man. So that's a good question. But basically, it comes back to the energy. Her femininity can literally resolve for his lack of masculinity. Either it's going to resolve for it, or she's going to assist him in a non-demeaning manner in getting the help he needs if she can't help him. But she will be the most well-equipped woman on earth to help him accomplish the task of being more masculine, which in turn will factor in and solve his issue of depression. Only a feminine woman can even remotely accomplish that task. A masculine woman is not going to be able to accomplish that task because she's going to be too busy. Number one, probably would be competing with him, and she might be a contributing factor to his depression. She's not going to be able to nurture him back to where he needs to be with being masculine. Masculinity from a woman doesn't do anything but tear men down. Not to say that it's not a pity party. It is what it is. He still had to do the work to get himself out of the scenario, no matter what the stance of the woman was. If he was a more masculine individual, he wouldn't be in a relationship with a masculine woman. It just wouldn't happen. The beauty of all this, yeah. Protege chimed in. Yeah. So give context to that, Protege. What do you mean by she can make it worse? Sharice said, yep, she definitely has to be more nurturing. Yeah. Her being feminine is what's gonna men will move mountains for women who are feminine. They do it for women who are masculine. So just imagine if he met the most beautiful woman he ever met, and she's extremely feminine. That's like a dream come true for men. Why would he not give her everything he and more? Give her the world. You know what I'm saying? Why would you not do that? That's like men grow up dreaming about marrying a woman they can spoil to death. That's literally what men want to do. We want to marry a woman that we can spoil to death. But not understanding that dynamic of spoiling a woman to death is tied to traditional mannerisms and constraints. I watched a video earlier today about Dr. BOA. If you ain't never seen him before, he got good content out there. Basically, he said that men and women nowadays want to have traditional marriages with modern mentality, and it just doesn't work like that. You can't have a modern mentality for as life and love and expect to have a traditional marriage. And somehow, some way, men and women are still expecting to have and sustain a traditional marriage with modern mannerisms, and they're not achieving it at all whatsoever. By no means. Y'all out here about to kill you and kill them, and there's nothing balanced about it at all. Everybody's out here arguing and fighting and it's just a sad situation, man. Y'all out here real messed up. But that's what we got the platform is to help people out. So y'all don't stay there. Real sad, man. Protege chimed in. So she says, meaning she can also make him feel as if his inability or lack of whatever is not worthy of her, which he deflects the energy on the person. Yeah, that's a masculine woman. Only a masculine woman would be doing that. So, like I said, the energy always resolves for itself. Only feminine men will be dealing with a woman who doesn't encourage, motivate, and put him in the best mental state to go out there and slay the dragon. If a woman, at this point in time in my life, if a woman can't assist me for making me want to do things for her just because I sent money to my girls just because, no particular reason. I was hey, here you go, babe, appreciate you. I'm not gonna do that for a woman who's not making me feel not worship, but not making me feel appreciated. I'm speaking of the man who speaks. I mean, just speaking life into him. And so, if she understands wholeheartedly that she's being feminine, right? And she's quote unquote doing everything she needs to do to check her blocks as far as being a feminine woman. How does she end up in that scenario with a feminine man? Maybe she's not as feminine as she thought she was. She's in a scenario with a man that she's literally breathing life into, and he still can't figure it out. I mean, a lot of you people out here lying to themselves. Y'all, people think they one way, they really not. People think they got it all together, but their life results say otherwise. What I've learned about this process in the past 4 or 5 years is that your life results will tell you if you're doing it right. Every time, all the time. Guaranteed. That's not something new. Look at all these celebrities out here. These people got millions of dollars and they still actually having relationship problems. Well, like I said, depression is a state of mind. Like to me, like I said, we can go down the slope of different kind of states of depression. But from what I gathered, from my own personal experiences and from some of my mentors, I treat depression as a state of mind. It is a reminder that you need to fix your life. Maybe for that person to no longer feel depressed, he needs to own the world and everything in it. He needs to be constantly working towards that to achieve that goal. The depression seeps in when you stop working. If you working and you constantly up here grinding, you ain't got time to be depressed. That's my stance on it. And like I said, I'm not going to sit here and say that people aren't allowed to feel how they want to feel about it. But you can treat a lot of things with medications. And I'm not saying for people not to take the medications if they need them. But I also feel wholeheartedly that in assistance with medicine and whatnot, you can still do work to get yourself out of that bad situation. I've done it myself. I seeked out help in tutelage and mentorship and therapy and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? But until you actually apply the lessons, well, I was working and depressed, working and depressed, and working and actually getting what you want is two different things. The depression was there to remind me that I'm not where I want to be at all. Just because I was working doesn't mean that I was where I want to be. But continuing to work is what eventually got me where I want to be. If that makes sense. Now, if I would have just felt depressed and just, eventually just said threw in the towel, so to speak, the end game for that scenario was me committing suicide. But through the work, through me continuously working and staying true to the cause, so to speak, not only was I able to help my scenario, I was able to help others. So I went from one end of the spectrum to the other. I went from being down and depressed and feeling sad for myself to literally being able to help other people have a lifestyle that they may never even achieved if I didn't actually do this stuff myself. And it's working working like working a job, that's not. There's different levels of work, right? So we need to define it. Working towards just being in a scenario and it's like a spinning your wheels situation, and you're not making the progress you want to make, and actually working towards a goal that's going to put you in a very healthy mental state are two different things. Going to work every day and working a job just because for the sake of having a job, that's not going to assist you in being undepressed whatsoever. That's actually probably contribute to you being depressed. Whenever I started my journey of overcoming depression, I actually quit a job at the time. I was making like $15 an hour, and at the time that wasn't bad money. I quit that job. I rode a bike. I walked to barber school. Through those scenarios, I was able to trickle into and segue into a better lifestyle. So working just for the sake of working, no, that's not the answer either. You got to know how to work. And you need to be working. It ain't they say working a job. You need to be working towards whatever it is you want out of life. It ain't necessarily got to be a job. A woman dedicating herself to working a job is actually not to her best interest. She should be working towards being more feminine so she can attract the man that's going to actually make her life easier. Twitter got another comment. Yeah. Femininity gives birth to submission, which in turn gives a man the peace he needs to conquer. Right. It's like that math equation I said earlier. 5 times 2 equals 10. So a math equation, we trying to equal 10. 10 is the golden number, right? 10 is out of all the prime numbers, not prime numbers, but all the numbers 1 through 9, there's an equation that you can factor in to equal 10. 5 times 5 ain't gonna equal 10. 2 times 2 is not gonna equal 10. 2 times 5 equals 10. You need a 2, you need a 5. Who's the 2, who's the 5? It don't really matter who's the 2, who's the 5. But you need a 2 and you need a 5. If you got 2 2s or you got 2 5s, you're not gonna get 10. If y'all catching that analogy. Very depressing, working too much as feminine. Right. It is very depressing. I'm working on the way out, baby. We go get there. I invest all this money on this stuff for no reason. It's getting there. We making headway. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So this is what Angela said. Project. Exactly. So this is what I mean when I say people need to be step by step, which is why I asked the question that we answered. All right. So yeah, okay. I appreciate that. And everything I do, I try to give step by step answers. Like I don't know if you was on the call earlier, but I kind of got into how to overcome feeling depressed. Is a topic earlier. I don't know how long you've been watching. How can men overcome? Basically, you need to line up with the right energy and continue to work until you get where you want to go. Femininity is not attached to work. Masculinity is. So masculinity is what makes being aligned with masculinity is what allows me to overcome any and all ailments, including depression. If you need to go get your meds and stuff, and if you're that far off, right, for your depression to the point where you need meds, it's a masculine decision to go get the help you need. You go get the help, you get yourself better, and you drive on. You still gotta work your way out of the scenario. You don't just take the pills and then that fix it and then go over in the corner and die. And how this works. The topic was actually is depression or mental. We had kind of skipped around. Next topic is, can depression be cured? I'm not a medical professional, so don't quote me on this, but I will once again. We're going to keep on coming back to that same synopsis of understanding the proper energies, right? Even medical diagnosis or treatments. The medicine they give you isn't a cure. It's just treating the symptoms, right? So who's to say that you can't treat the symptoms by just getting better results out of life. You know, when you go to a doctor for depression, the doctor doesn't cure you. He just treats your symptoms. Supposedly, you can't get rid of it. And the doctor's just treating the symptoms. He's not necessarily curing anything. You know, he's just giving you medication to make you not be as aware of your state of mind as you once were. As far as I know how they work. It's not even about getting rid of it. It's about learning how to manage it, right? So, even with a doctor's diagnosis, right? Even if you get prescribed medication for depression, there are also going to be group therapy sessions you can go to. That's not medicine. This is something you're tangibly doing. This is something you're volunteering to show up to speak to other people about their depression as well. So, if you can take those actions to help you feel better about your depression, who's to say you can't take actions to make yourself have a better lifestyle, and inherently through that scenario of having a better lifestyle, who's to say you no longer feel depressed? That's still treatment. From my perspective, you're still treating the symptoms in some kind of way. I bet I ain't see the chat. I just had a truth. High risk of suicide when on the bench. Yeah, I can't speak to that, but if that's true, then that's a tough scenario, man. That's a tough scenario, man, to be, going to a doctor to get treated for something, and the treatment actually makes your scenario worse. That's tough, man. I would never want to wish that on anybody, man, even my worst enemy. And I don't even have no enemies out here. Truth be told, so whatever the case, can it be cured? I don't suppose no, but it can be treated in multiple ways. There's the medications, which if that's the route you want to go, I'm not going to be the guy to tell you not to do it. But as I said, to me, depression is just a reminder to yourself that you're not satisfied with where you are in life, and it's a constant reminder that, hey, I need to do some work to get myself out of this scenario to the one I really want to be in. It's not the end of the world. It may feel like it sometimes, but from my perspective, the worse it feels, the more you can be happy about the payoff if and when you actually get it. It's an amazing scenario to get a payoff from the Lord and get you from point A to point B, where you go from being down and out to wild out. Understand me? You get some, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Instead of suffering from a bunch of this
emotional damage,
and out here all mad and up here scenario where you talking like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to give you a little information where you can be out here turned up and out here like that. You know what I'm saying? Then if you're always gonna be like that when you got this right here. Dip on your chip. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it go, man. It's really just that simple, man. You gotta do what you gotta do, get a dip on your chip, understand me? All right, ladies. Now y'all can chime in now. I'm not speaking directly to the women, but I'm referring to you. So I would like for y'all to really chime in now, because we actually speaking to them. And just to define the dip on your chip, the dip on your chip is the world and everything in it, man. Everything you want out of life is a dip on your chip, man. How you depressed when you got everything you want? It's kind of difficult to be depressed when you got everything you want. Sheree said your daily activities will help you through depression. Yeah. Stand motivated, not motivated, but stand engaged. Stand busy. You really don't have time to really think about it, man. You're too busy out here, you know what I'm saying, going through and getting things done. You don't really have time to be depressed when you got that scenario going on, man. It's really difficult. You know what I'm saying? It's really difficult. Good job on that one, baby. Grandma Tootsie House, what are you saying no to? What effect do women play in men's depression? What effect do women play? Y'all chime in the comments, man. What effect do y'all think women play, if any, in a man being depressed? Do women factor in at all? Or is that just him in his own head? Uncooperative. Jason said uncooperative. Uncooperative, man. Why is she uncooperative? Is her femininity conditional? Like if you're not leading properly as a man, quote unquote, is she entitled to no longer be in her feminine state because you're not actually leading in a masculine way? Should you expect her to be cooperative and submissive and feminine? Why she with him? I don't know, man. You might have to call in, man, get more context to that one, man. But wherever the case, I don't want to give the answer away about what it is, but it's pretty simple. If you've been following me, my stance on this: people only find themselves in bad spots when they're not properly balanced. You know what I'm saying? I would expect her to be. But you're all different type of men. Well, this is the real answer, right? I was trying to talk around it, but basically the answer to that is people need to be what they need to be, regardless of if they're engaging with another human or not. No men or women should be conditionally anything. Like a man should be masculine, period, and a woman should be feminine, period. It doesn't matter if she's with a man or not with a man. Her natural state needs to be that of a feminine woman, and his natural state needs to be that of a masculine man. Within the context of same-sex couples, one of those individuals needs to be naturally masculine, and one of those individuals needs to be naturally feminine, even though they are a same-sex couple. If that doesn't happen, even the same-sex couple is going to have issues. So it comes back to your energy. I don't have expectations. I have realizations. And it basically comes down to I collect enough information on this individual to realize either they're feminine or they're not. There is no in between. Not anymore for me. I don't even have time to be up here, at least not anymore. I don't have time to coach women on femininity anymore. Either if I do coach you, it's from the stance of I'm going to put out the information about what femininity is or isn't within the relation to my masculinity. And either you pick up this information and process it and act on it, or you don't. And I've done enough research and lived enough reality of these energies to know what it looks like. So I'm not second guessing a woman who's a quote unquote good woman, or feeling like I'm missing out because I'm not willing to work with her to get what she needs to be. Either you where you need to be already, or you're not, mentally at least. I'm not expecting people to be where they need to be in all aspects, because that's like a prerequisite. That's like a man having a job. Like ain't no woman dealing with no man who ain't got no job. And I don't expect a woman to deal with a man who don't have a job. So if you're not feminine naturally, then there's no way we're going to work at all whatsoever. Just not going to happen. Not no more. How do you handle a son who's depressed? All right. So this is a real good topic to me because I think it starts young. A lot of boys are suffering from depression nowadays because they never really understood how to process masculinity because they never had an example of it. I wouldn't say people in general, but if he's a heterosexual man, then a woman with femininity, yes, I believe a woman with femininity. That's why you think most nurses are women. Women are naturally more feminine. So I think a feminine woman with a true feminine essence, I think that can cure anything. The same way a man's masculinity in of itself can cure anything. The femininity will resolve any and all problems with or without a man, and the masculinity will resolve any and all problems with or without a woman. The beauty of the essence of masculinity and femininity coming together, that's really what we're referring to when we say equally yoked. It's the same thing with the math equation. The yoke is not about y'all bringing the same energy. The broke is about the opposite energies balancing themselves. That's why it's a yoke. But somehow, some way, people have contributed or processed the definition of equal yoke. Mean y'all both doing the same thing, or y'all both have the same life goals or whatever. Like I could care less about a woman's life goals if she's not feminine. That's irrelevant. Your femininity is first and foremost. If you don't got that, I don't care what your life goals are. Your life goals are irrelevant. I don't care. The same, and I would expect the same from a woman. If she can't nurture, and like I said, and a man who's actually in his masculinity shouldn't need to be nurtured, but a woman can do it if you need. Like I said, in those scenarios, I think that's like if she meet a guy, and she may see the guy has, and it's hard. You might have to if the same thing with me, right? I had to groom a couple women who checked most of the blocks, and they were willing to learn how to be more feminine. Whereas that same situation may apply to a woman. Like she may meet a guy who checks most of the blocks of things that you need a man to do. Like he probably make good money, got the ability to take care of himself and whatever else he got going on. But he just got a couple of chinks in the armor when it comes to his ability to be more masculine. Your femininity will be able to assist you in coaching him to be more masculine. And he will receive that information without any kind of rebuttal or pushback because he understands, even with him not even processing the dynamic of sexual polarity, he may not even be aware of the fact that he's not masculine enough. But your feminine essence will enable you to convey that message that, hey, babe, I need you to be a little bit more aggressive in these manners, and he'll be able to pick up what you're putting down. As long as you do it from a feminine perspective. Now, if you start barking at him and coming at him like you're trying to chastise him or correct him from not doing something you feel like he needs to be doing from a masculine perspective, then I ain't gonna work out. And this is the thing that a lot of women, I see women on social media talking about, oh, I love a man who can take care of stuff and make sure he take out the trash and changing my tire or whatever other duties. I mean, that's not, masculinity is not about serving you. Masculinity is not about doing dishes and checking out the garbage and doing house chores. If a man's making enough money, he'll pay somebody to do all that. So it has nothing to do with that. Masculinity is tied to leadership, progress, discipline, getting stuff done. Yeah, all that, he may do all that, and he might still tend to the house and stuff. But he's not, him tend to the house and stuff is not his masculinity. That's just him getting stuff done because somebody got to do it, and either he's in a scenario we can afford to pay somebody to do it, or he got to do it himself. But he's not doing that for you. He's doing it because it needs to be done. So I see so many women up here posting about, oh, I need my man that can take care of everything and pay all the bills and do all this stuff. Like, ladies, you're not attracting a man that's actually masculine with that mindset. All you're attracting is another simp servant, and y'all don't like them. But that's all you're attracting. So here we are, 40 plus, and you still preaching on Facebook about what your demands are and what your expectations are relationship wise with no man in sight. If you understood it, ma'am, sir, you would have it already. We 40 now. You don't know what you're doing. You need to understand that. Here's a revelation. Write that down. If you don't got what you want at all in life, it means you don't know how to get it. At this point, we all been on Earth long enough to figure this out. And if you ain't got it by now, that means you don't know. You are absolutely clueless to get the life you really want. Which is hopefully, if you one of those individuals who don't have you want what you want, you watch this show. Hopefully, you absorbing the information and applying it. Highly recommend it. Otherwise, you're gonna be out here like this.
He needs some milk.
So back to the depressed son, right? You need to make sure that you get this boy attached to masculine individuals, or you through your femininity teach him about masculinity. You cannot teach him masculinity in a masculine way. I know that don't make sense. I know it's kind of hard to process. But if you try to teach your son to be masculine in a masculine demeanor, meaning is you land on the law and you chastising them, you are disabling this man from actually ever becoming masculine at any point in time in his life. You're literally stripping him of his masculinity when you're cussing him out and going ham on him. Now, and I understand the need to kind of feel like you need to go there, especially with young boys. But I'm sad to say that that's not really on you to make the decision. We gotta. It's. I don't know who this is. It's. Oh. Could you turn your camera on, please? Or is that an option? Hello. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Oh, that's my fun. Oh, you're on mute right now, so I don't know what's going on, but if you figure it out, I'll let you back in.
Okay, I was driving. I'm sorry. I was just trying to make sure. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. So say what you got to say for the people.
Okay, so kind of going back to a woman in her feminine essence and dealing with depression. A woman, just in my experience, like I've just seen so many women are like overly exhausting themselves in their masculine energy because in most relationships or just in life here because they want to be in control. And us as women, we have to tend to let go of the control and quit trying to be the head and not allow your partner or your man, your husband to lead because that puts you in a state of being more masculine and then you'll fall into depression because you're expecting him to lead, but you're leading and taking control and all of that, those different things. So I know one of the things that got me in a place to be able to be more feminine and more confident is exercise and getting myself more confident about how I look, how I feel about myself, and all those different things. And so oftentimes women kind of get in that state of mind of depression because you want to be the man in the situation. And I know often in this take care of their homes, especially as a single mother or single mom or whatever the case may be, but you have to find, like I said, daily activities to get yourself being more feminine and not being so rigid and always working and trying to be in control of every scenario and just always in this, I don't know, like real masculine frame. And so that's kind of my take on positioning yourself to be more feminine is finding confidence and doing the things that are more loving and nurturing and less of the working and being in control and trying to be a leader and trying to be aggressive and just all those different things like that.
So what do you feel is the how? What's one thing that helps you other than working out, which I advise all men and women to do? What's the thing what are your things to actually make women be more feminine? Women are not naturally more feminine nowadays. Women are very extremely masculine nowadays,
Oh,
to the point to where they celebrating Father's Day and everything, and there's nothing in society telling them to do otherwise. So, how does a woman in today's society actually process the need to, number one, the need to actually be more feminine, and or how does she actually go about doing it? Like,
learning, learn
what did you actually do to
outside of being more confident, like as far as going to the gym, learn how to be quiet. That's like one of the biggest things that women in this world, in this society, have a problem with doing is being quiet, knowing when to speak and when not to speak, knowing when your energy speaks for itself, your calmness, your sweetness, your lovingness, and oftentimes we loud, we want to be the one, be seen, be heard, in control, always running our mouth, just that kind of thing. And I think that that's kind of one of the things that you can do outside of your image and feeling good about who you are as a person, as a woman, but learning how to be quiet, knowing when it's your place to speak and when not to speak.
how do you learn how to be quiet? When is a good time to be quiet?
Especially in the scenario when a man is talking, learning how to not always trying to be combative, getting the last word, uh, always trying to position yourself to be in a man's place. Like it's a time to be quiet. Just like as a mother, you tell kids to stay in a kid's place. So as a woman, you have to stay in your place as a woman and learn how to be quiet when there's men talking or when your man is giving you direction and trying to lead. And I know from just experiencing it myself as well with other people, friends, family members, or whatever, you want your man to lead, but you never give him that opportunity to lead because you always running your mouth trying to tell him what to do.
Hmm. And have you ever had any bad results from um, being not being your feminine essence? Has being a feminine woman, in your opinion, ever resulted in bad circumstances?
To be honest, I've always been in my feminine essence. Now, being in my feminine essence with a man that's more feminine has resulted in bad results for me.
Say it again.
And when I said I feel like I've always been in my feminine essence, but being connected to or in a relationship with a more feminine man it has been a bad result for me because we're both in this emotional state all the time.
Well, it goes back to what I was saying. Like, if you actually was as feminine as you thought you were at the time, you probably wouldn't have even been in a relationship with a feminine man to begin with. So, and like
Yeah.
we all have learning experiences, and I've been there myself. So I was in a situation where I was with a very masculine woman, and I didn't know I was doing the things wrong at the time, but the results exposed me, and they expose everybody else. So that's just to me at this point. That's just what it is. Like there's no room for error here. There's no room for deviation or interpretation. The the energy is going to do what the energy does, and there's nothing we can do about it. All of Our marriages failed because we didn't understand sexual polarity, nor do we feel the need to. Our parents didn't teach us. We're 40 now. We just learned it within the past 5 years, and we are one of 3% of people who even factors into the equation. Most people are lost in the sauce, and social media and real life exposes as such. So yeah, that's why we've made the platform. That's why we're trying to empower, encourage, and teach people to actually get what they want and actually keep it. You know, you got anything else you want to say before we?
Um, and just to kind of piggyback or just elaborate a little bit more about feminine essence, oftentimes this day and age, modern women, as people are saying, they think because you look feminine that you're soft. But the moment you open your mouth and be combative and downgrade a man or want to go back and forth with a man, you are in your masculine frame. And so whatever result you get from that, it's only on you because as a woman you have to learn how to be more soft and be piped down and learn how to be quiet and be more nurturing and loving and doing all those things that will keep you in your feminine essence. Now, when it comes to work or running a business, yeah, you may have to set goals and accomplish things or whatever. But when it comes to your household and coming home, you got to learn how to be a little bit more softer, nurturing, loving, caring, so that you can stay well balanced in your feminine essence. So that's just my take on that.
Yeah, and it's a fortunate scenario that most men in general, the most important factor for them selecting women to be wives is looks is most important. Whether that's the correct choice or not is irrelevant. But if the physical attraction is there, it's very difficult for 99% of men to even care about it. So part of being feminine is includes maintaining a certain physical appearance, and it's all encompasses the same way a woman's physical appearance is equivalent to a man being able to maintain a job. That's how important it is. There's no such thing as a masculine man who can't maintain ability to produce and make money. There's no such thing as a feminine woman who can't maintain the ability to keep her body and her physical appearance in a certain state. Those two things are attached to the hip, and that's just the rules of the situation. So, it's all learning experiences. We all, going through things, and we all factoring things into our equation. But those are just the rules of the game. Men are going to choose the women that they are the most attracted to, and they'll choose to deal with a woman who, in most men, so to speak, I don't do this person because there's no woman good looking enough at this point in time for me to sacrifice masculinity for a relationship with a woman who's masculine. It just don't compute for me no more. But that's just me.
Well, I appreciate you having me on tonight. Great show.
Cool. Be safe. All right, so that was a good call there. Miss Smiling, she chimed in some things, and me and her, we have a personal relationship. Understand me? It's one of my BBWs. Understand me? Y'all fully aware of that. And she chimed in a lot of things she has her perspective on, or things that she kind of learned the past couple of years, and she's probably happier now than she's ever been, even after I think one marriage and a couple of kids and stuff. So the energy works, ladies and gentlemen. You will get where you want to go, but you have to learn how to maintain it and apply it and actually get the results you want to get. That's the kicker, right? Everybody knows the what, but nobody knows the how. Right? So that's the slippery slope for people is the actual how. What are the actual tangible steps to be more masculine? What are the actual tangible steps to be more feminine? That's what we're diving into. That's what the whole show is about. All right. Pick back on to the how do you handle a depressed son? Is there a such thing as being too hard on a boy, on your son?
He needs some milk.
Such thing as being too hard on him. You out here going hard on little man. Is there such thing as being too hard on young boys? Y'all let me know. What do y'all think? See you later, Grandma. Is there such thing as being too hard on boys? In my perspective, coming from a woman, I don't think women should really be the overall head of correcting young men. Like when he reaches a certain age, she should better say terms along the lines of, "I'm going to tell your dad when he gets home" type stuff. Not the whole "I'm going to spank you" or whatnot. He's a teenager. By the time most boys are teenagers, they're actually probably physically stronger than their mother. So the only reason he's allowing himself to be punished, quote unquote, by his mother is just out of respect. So with that true scenario there, it doesn't make much logical sense for women to still continue to try to physically punish teenagers. It still exists, but it doesn't make much logical sense because he's, like I said, he's probably stronger than you by the time he's a teenager. The ideal scenario is that his father's still around, his father's still actively in the picture, and y'all both live in the same home raising children, and you have the support of the husband to where if it comes down to physical punishment, then you have the means to actually carry it out because the father's actually there. Now, as far as being too hard on boys, I am a huge advocate for being able to learn your children and speak the language they need to hear and process to get the desired results. I don't think all children are created the same when it comes to the dynamic of discipline, so to speak. But I also am of the opinion that you need to be the leader and you need to be the one who implements and guides and directs your disciplinary style. The children shouldn't be the ones up here dictating how you discipline them. Now you can gather information, you can learn their personalities to the point to where you can kind of predict what they're going to do before they even do it themselves, and you can use that information to your advantage. It's very similar to a man kind of grooming a woman before he decides to get into a long-term relationship with her. You need to know your children just as good as they know themselves, if not better. You should better predictably or predict, not predictably, but you need to be able to factor in and know the personality of your children to the point to where when they do something, it's not a surprise to you. You need to be able to know them well enough to be able to predict their actions, so to speak. And it's not a very difficult task, but you have to be balanced yourself to pick up on the cues. Within the context of dealing with boys, you must have enough feminine essence as a single mother to understand and have discernment to where your feminine essence will let you know he's lying to you. Truth be told, you can't be lied to by a man when you're in a feminine stance. You better pick up all of the non-masculine mannerisms, because in the process of lying, a man is actually, and lying is a very feminine thing to do. So any man that's lying is in a feminine state at that point in time. So if you're actually in your feminine state, you will pick up on the fact he's lying, and that includes your son. It's extremely easy. Y'all call it intuition, but it's unfortunate because y'all got it in the back of your head, right? Y'all can tell when a man's lying to you, right? With your intuition, but you don't have enough femininity to even act on it. You can't even correct the action. You're in a relationship with a man, you know he's lying to you, but you don't have enough feminine baseline to, number one, prevent that scenario, and number two, even have a plan of action to not necessarily confront him about it, but to get to a scenario to where he's actually going to come clean about it. But no woman who's in for a feminine essence gets herself into a scenario where she's in a relationship with a man who isn't masculine. So if you're actually with feminists you need to be at all times, you wouldn't have these problems. There's no way a feminine woman who's truly feminine will ever be in a relationship with a man who's not honest, has integrity, is trustworthy, and willing to tell you truth about anything and everything you ask him at all times. That's just what's going to happen. It's as true as the sky's blue. So, is there such thing as being too hard on young boys? Like I said, you need to have your leadership style, whatever you choose to be, ladies and gentlemen, and you need to be able to implement that and get the information you need to get from your son in order to monitor. That's the word I'm looking for. You need to be able to predictably monitor their behavior. You should be able to pick up on cues to let you know that, hey, here's something a little off about the junior today. He ain't saying and speaking and moving the way he usually does. That's on you as a parent to figure that out and know those answers. It ain't for him to disclose that information. You need to know that about your kids. And if you don't know the information, you're failing your children as a parent. You shouldn't be surprised about them hanging out with gangsters or whatever. People talk about kids get a certain age and they start hanging out with the bad crowd. Well, that's because you didn't know your kid enough. He hung out with the bad crowd because maybe you weren't the good crowd. I don't know anybody as wise is gonna dump a good livelihood, just go hang out with some thugs for no apparent reason. So either you failed your child in multitude of ways, you weren't teaching them enough about wisdom, and or you weren't wise yourself in order to prevent these actions. So here's a slippery slope of simping yet again. Hope you're proud of yourself. But you know what I'm saying?
Bruh.
That's how I feel about it. Like you should be able to get the desired results, man. It's not that hard. If you do things right, you're gonna get the results. It's just a fact of life, man. Next topic. We got a couple more left. Let's see how we got. We got a lot left. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 6. 6 more topics left. We might run through these pretty quick. How important is a father figure to prevent depression? This is extremely important. Now, keyword father figure. Obviously, if his father's not around anymore, he probably wouldn't have masculine. So it behooves single women to try to make it work with the father, I recommend. But if for whatever reason getting back with the baby daddy is not an option, you need to make it your utmost priority to number one, be the most feminine, nurturing woman possible. So you can fill that void of your son's lack of masculinity. He will never be able to learn how to be masculine from you. He can't learn that from you. The only thing you can do is give him an example of femininity, and through that, the nurturing side, the opposite end of the coin, you will be able to factor in for the missing sum of the parts and still get the whole answer he needs to get in order to be a sustainable adult. So a father figure, so to speak, just any old man to do type scenario, I don't recommend it at all. Now, if you put yourself in the feminine state and maintain it, more than likely you will find yourself in a scenario where a masculine man will kind of just come into your vicinity. The same way where as a masculine man, feminine women just kind of gravitate towards him. That's just the rules of engagement. It's as true as the sky is blue. You're always going to win when you put yourself in the right mental state and you apply the right policies and procedures. You know, it's inevitable. You can't lose what the Lord leaves. Understand me? You can't lose what the Lord used. Let me see if I had a good sound for y'all. No, I ain't got no good sound. So, how important is it? Extremely important. But like, don't go out here searching for any old man. You need a masculine man, and you can't get a masculine man without being feminine yourself. No masculine man is dating you. Masculine men do not date alpha females ever under any circumstances. They just don't do it because they don't have to. Why would they? They know the detriments and downfalls of dealing with women who are too masculine for their own good within the constraints of romantic relationships. She may be a boss, she may be a CEO, she may make millions of dollars. That doesn't mean she doesn't have relationship problems, aka the Jada Pinkett's and the Tia Mowry's and the Angela Bassett's. Well, I think Angela Bassett's okay. Or the Vivica Fox's, the who else just got cheated on? Nia Long's. Who else got cheated on? Diamond, I can't remember her name. Lisa Ray. The list goes on. All these women are drop dead gorgeous or were at one point in time. And single and rich. It's obviously their money ain't a factor in them getting a man. That's painfully obvious. But somehow, some way, women are still out here fighting, clawing, and scratching, subscribing to the notion that I need to go get me a bag and that'll make me more valuable. But don't factor in it. They don't make you more valuable to a man. Let me say this, ladies. If you want your money to be more valuable to a man, you need to be prepared to give all that money to that man. And if you're not prepared to do that, if you're not prepared to give every dime you make to that man, your money is irrelevant to a masculine man. Now, if you prepare to give out, if you prepare to go to work every day, get your bag, quote unquote, or build your business every day, and you prepare to give all that money to a man, then yeah, it's important. But unless you prepare to do that, your money is not relevant to getting a man by no means. So, circle back down onto the topic. That's the tangible steps. You need to understand how to be more feminine, that attract a quote unquote father figure for your son. And yes, it is extremely important, but you don't want just anybody. And you're not going to get more than just any old body if you don't understand how to process and be more feminine at all times. Even when you're not in his presence, that needs to be your default. It's not possible to turn masculinity or femininity on and off. Either you're feminine and submissive or you're not. That don't mean you have to be docile. That don't mean you have to be a pushover. It just means you understand how to conduct yourself in a certain manner in certain situations. Masculine men do not want pushovers either. They don't want women who are useless. They want women who are valuable and have the ability to go out there and get stuff done with or without him. But they also need women that knows how to take constructive criticism and follow instructions if need be. Most time, the stuff he's going to ask you to do is going to be minuscule anyway. He don't really need much from you other than your femininity. That's all he values. Next topic. What the boys do when they don't have a father figure. See, this is, and I've seen some people posting about this earlier. What happens when young boys don't have father figures is they go find masculinity in another source of what they perceive as masculinity. That's why they end up joining gangs or get themselves in trouble or hanging out with the quote unquote wrong crowd. This is what happens when boys don't have access to masculine energy or access to masculine leadership. They will go find it in other places. We make a big fuss about black on black crime, but black on black crime is a direct reflection of the fact there's no masculine leadership in most homes within the black community. So we have a bunch of emotional boys out here getting access to guns and feeling like shooting another boy is proving themselves as a man. That's literally what's going on. Men out here will actually brag about being a shooter, when that should be considered one of the most cowardly acts a man could ever do. Shooting another person. Especially if that person wasn't shooting at you. So, once again, all these things are going to factor back to his ability, on your ability to relate to him in a feminine way, to teach him the rules and regulations of masculinity and sexual polarity. This is the most important thing he will ever learn, other than learning how to walk. If he doesn't understand these situations and scenarios, he will suffer. It's not if, he will suffer. And even if it doesn't affect him, it'll affect his children. Somebody in that hierarchy, in that family tree, will suffer the consequences of him not understanding how to be more masculine. All right, so we established that a father figure is extremely important, and we established what young boys would do when they don't have a father figure. Now we want to look for the good traits of the father. A father figure is nothing more, like I said, we keep on beating this dead horse, but a father figure is nothing more than a man who displays and exudes masculinity at all times. Masculinity is not about being a dictator. It's not about yelling. It's about getting results. It's about being consistent. It's about being controlled. It's about getting things accomplished, regardless of the scenario at hand. Masculinity is tied to your ability to go slay the dragon, with or without a woman. Those are traits to look for. Okay. Women say they want a man that's hardworking. Okay, hardworking how? He's working for himself. He's working for someone else. You know, how much money we talking about here? All these are questions you need to ask. And if he checks all those blocks and he's a
great masculine man who makes good money, then now you have to measure, am I actually worthy of getting this man? What do I do, and what makes me deserving of a man of this caliber, if anything? Those are questions we need answers to. We have stipulations and requirements for the people we want, but we're not talking about what we're going to do to get ourselves equipped to even get access to a man or woman like that. And this goes for both sides. There's men out here who are ill-equipped, and there's women who are ill-equipped, but yet they still find themselves in scenarios where they have access to men and women who are higher caliber than they're capable of handling. And 6 months to a couple years later, it never works out. So, the traits of a good father figure are basically a man who has the ability to go out there and get stuff done. Next topic. How you become qualified as a single mother for a great father figure. Basically, be more feminine. That's all you have to do. Be more in tune with your femininity. You will get everything that's coming to you and more. Is it true? Is the sky is blue? And we kind of touched on all these topics already. So we go ahead and go skip on to the next one. And they all tie into everything. Once you get this father figure, how important is it to keep him? It might be the most valuable thing you ever access in your life is actually being able to have a man that you actually feel like is, I didn't feel like, that you know for a fact is a masculine leader who's capable of protecting and providing for you and your family. It's probably the most important task you will ever accomplish as a woman. Is getting into a relationship with a masculine man and maintaining that. It is of your most utter importance. So, how you keep him? Maintain your femininity the same way he had to maintain his masculinity to get himself in a position where he's even worthy of the title of father figure. And our last topic for tonight: biblical context on depression. So I'm gonna look up some Bible verses to see what does the word say about femininity. I might not be surprised by what this says, but let's find out. Bible verses for depression. All right. Found some real quick. Some 18 Bible verses for depression that will help you through your darkest hours. All right. Deuteronomy 31:8. And this is, like I said, all I did was just Google depression and the Bible. Like I said, all this stuff is always got biblical context. So this first verse we're going to read, we're going to go through a couple of them right quick, is Deuteronomy 31:8. The Lord himself goes before you and will be with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. The good news, as far as someone's breaking this down, while depression can make you feel lonely, God is there with you. And he's not going anywhere. So basically, it's just hitting back on, circling around on the topic, said, hey, in spite of your sad scenario, you still have an opportunity to work your way out. Meaning, don't give up. Faith without works is dead, right? There's another verse that's going to be the last one to read for the night. This is Philippians 4, chapter 8, verse. And I'm not sure if this is King James or New Revised Standard Version or whatever, but feel free to read whichever version of this you can find. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. And someone's breaking down to that, the good news. Although there may be difficult or dark times, taking time to be grateful and reflect on things that are good can lift your spirits. This is pretty much what we'll be talking about the whole show. Is that in spite of your depressing scenario, you still have opportunity to adhere to some mental fortitude and some mental process to overcome your depressing scenario. It's right here in the word. It doesn't say anywhere about needing medicine. Not to say that I'm telling people not to get their diagnosis, but the word doesn't speak to that. The word says what I've been saying the whole time. Work your way out of it. Prove your faith to yourself. If you're constantly proving your faith to yourself, I highly doubt you'll be depressed. And on that note, we've been up here for an hour and 46 minutes. It's been an honor and a privilege to be with y'all for the night. You know what I'm saying? I really did enjoy playing with this new little thing. Getting the little special effects going and stuff. You know. Fun. You know. But we go call it a night. Bid you farewell. I appreciate y'all. We'll be back with another long form show. Got the editor working on it. Should be out maybe Wednesday or Thursday. We'll see how it goes. New series coming out. The rehabilitation of the alpha female understanding. Until next time, church. We'll see y'all. Good night. Survival of the Sim.